I traveled solo for the first time 2 weeks ago and my life completely changed. I never knew this was possible until I learned about the things that I'm about to share with you today. I will also give you my best budget hacks to travel so you don't have to worry about money. If you're scared, if you're kind of hesitant about going on that solo travel, it's okay because I was there too. But I'm going to share with you exactly how I was able to go into that solo travel, how I was able to visit Orlando for the first time, and why I decided to visit Orlando. Let's start with the good stuff. There's this website called Kayak, and what I did, I chose from my place to anywhere, and I scrolled out, see the map, and there was a flight for $70 to Orlando. It actually came out to be $100, but that's still very good. And after I find out where the cheapest flight is to wherever I want to go, I then go on Expedia. And Expedia is a website that could give you literally the best packages possible. And what I did, I chose my days that I want to visit. If you're wanting to travel, Mondays and Tuesdays are the best time to go travel. That's basically where it's the cheapest. So whenever I'm booking long stays, I would usually do Expedia and I will go on packages. So I would go and see the hotels and I would see the flight. And usually it will come out to be pretty cheap. For my accommodation and flight for Orlando, it was about less than $300. And I stayed for 2 nights and I went from Tuesday to Thursday. That was the best and most cheap flight and stay I could have found. But here's what I did that was so unusual. I booked with Airbnb instead of the actual Expedia package. I found it to be way cheaper because on Airbnb, I stayed with another person. It was the owner of the place and they were actually really nice. His name was Elder. Him and his wife were amazing people. And honestly, that was a great experience. My parents were scared. Obviously, I was just trying to be careful, but they were amazing people. If you're booking through like Airbnb, I think most of the time it's going to be safe. 1 year ago, I wanted to visit Orlando, Florida. I was sitting in class and I was about to book the trip, but it never happened. I was afraid and I was scared and it was like a financial risk, it was a life risk. I don't know if I should have done it and I basically wasn't ready. But after a whole year, I finally decided to go to Orlando, Florida. And the reason why I chose Orlando, Florida was because you have Disney. And even though it's the most expensive trip that anybody could book, I just had to go see the sun, go and see Orlando and Florida and just be out there. That brings me on to the next topic. Is a solo travel even worth it? And you can choose to save the $300, $400, $500, but I'm here to tell you that after visiting Orlando, Florida, solo trip for the first time, visiting New Orleans, a brand new city that I've never been in before, every single dollar that I spent was so worth it. And that's because I would have never learned the things that I learned during those solo trips if I never gone. Because here in the Midwest, staying at home, I'm comfortable. I'll be honest, this is nice. But being outside my comfort zone and taking that risk is one of the best things that I've ever done. Because now I feel so much more confident. I feel confident in my abilities. I feel confident in who I am. And a lot of people say, get out of your comfort zone because there is a reason. There's no secret. To stay out of your comfort zone means that you are constantly growing. And for me, the biggest risk of all, the biggest decision was asking my parents for permission, asking them if this is the right choice. Obviously, they were like, my mom was like, don't do it. My dad was like, well, if you want to do it, go do it. So basically, both of my parents were worried. But here's how I convinced them. I explained to them that this trip, this solo trip, is something that will help me grow. For example, on social media, you see all the time people saying that they're living life to the fullest, they're traveling, they're making money, they're living life to the fullest, but what does that actually mean? And I want to figure that out. So the only way is to go on that solo travel because nobody else wants to find that out at the same time as me. Nobody else has the time, nobody else has maybe financial capabilities. So I basically almost booked the trip and my parents had no other choice but to say, okay, you know what, sure. You showed us where you're staying, you showed us what the flight is, go. And honestly, talking about that solo trip actually helped. It helped me gain the confidence to say that this is actually something that I want to do and this is something that I should go for. So if you're hesitant, that's normal. I was there too. But when I realized that there's other people out there in the world doing the same thing that I want to do, I knew I had to take the leap because we all start from somewhere. But after you take that leap, what happens after? Nobody really talks about that, but I'm here to show you what happens after. The biggest thing that changed for me was confidence. And I finally saw what was on the other side of the unknown. It's a lot of reflection. It's a lot of finding out about yourself. And honestly, it's been very healing. Like, I've never thought I would be able to go on this solo trip. And I finally did it. I remember last year I wanted to go so bad. Even I had to go alone. And 1 year later, I'm finally doing it. But going on these solo trips actually also taught me that I actually am not alone. There are so many people out there who want to travel, who want to get out of there, out of the Midwest, out of where you want to live and go see beautiful places, to see the beauty in this world. And honestly, looking back right now, it was actually scary and it was actually lonely being over there on my own. I had to call my mom. I just had to talk to her because I had nobody else to talk with. And the only memories I had were the memories on my phone because it it just felt like a blur. I was just by myself with nobody else to talk about my experience with. But when I look back, I realized that these are the moments that will define my youth, my 2025, my 20 years of age. And these are the decisions that make life worth living. So if you've been thinking about booking that trip, do it. I suggest you to go and do it. Go forth and live your life. Live life to the fullest because there's so much out there in the world that we need to see, so much beauty, so much experiences. I'm gonna try and share as much as I can, but I want to see other people out there living their best life, living their life to the fullest, whatever that means to you. We only have so much time. Life really is short, and I just think now at 20 years to 26, like, am I ever going to want to swim with sharks, get my scuba diving lessons, get my scuba diving certificate? I don't know. All I know is that right now in this time, I want to travel. Even better if I'm going with a friend, and I know that there's other people out there in the world who feel the same. And all it took was a risk. All it took was a decision to go forth and travel, even if you have to travel solo. I realized that we only have so much time, and time is the one currency that we will never get back. Money, we will get back. We can always earn it back. So right now, if you're around my age and you're thinking about traveling, go and do it. It will be so much fun. But if you guys are just like me and you see other people on social media, like on TikTok, and there are people just traveling the world, and you're like, how are they doing it? It's literally just one step at a time. I believe that they just took that leap of faith. But I'm wondering, what is it like to be in Europe? That is somewhere that I've never been in before, and if nobody else wants to go with me, it's like, why can't I go by myself? If there's other people out there on the internet, people out there in the world that are doing this, why can't I and why can't you? And what's stopping you? Because if it's physically possible, it's possible. And what I realized about Orlando, Florida, I haven't heard anybody talk about this. I don't know how, but maybe they're better at making friends than me. But I actually did feel lonely. Like, I would have loved to explore Disney with someone else, but I was there just by myself, and even though I still had a good time, even though it was still, literally it was amazing. I felt amazing, but I would have felt even more amazing with a friend. I think that's what this life is all about. The meaningful relationships that we build along the way. And I don't know why, but I feel like solo traveling, you will be able to connect with other people out there in the world. For example, I'm seeing people from Germany, Italy coming to the US visiting, and it's like amazing. It's like, what? Like, to think that we're all humans, we're all people from all over the world visiting places that we want to see, like, that's pretty cool. And that's what I'm excited about for the next future. So remember, Expedia, you will get your packages. Kayak, you can look for the cheapest flights for the time that you want to visit. So slowly prepare yourself for your solo travels. Start talking about it, start buying the things that you need for solo traveling. And then I would say to just, whenever you're ready, to press that button to book, and you found the place that you could afford, times that you want to visit, go and book that trip, go and take that flight. Why not? The money you can always earn back that money. And honestly, if it won't affect you too much, I would say just go for it. Because by yourself, solo traveling, I don't know where else you could learn that. Of course, just be careful, be aware, but I think you'll be fine wherever you want to visit. I know that Orlando, New Orleans was fine for me. If I didn't feel safe, I would use my gut. And if you want to know where I'm going next, make sure to subscribe, because I'm going to somewhere pretty cool, somewhere warm, with my cousin who's been in one of the previous videos. Go and see the beauty in this world. It's worth it.